Hey everybody, welcome back to Disappointing Your Demons. My name is Ron, a grateful recovering alcoholic. Gonna keep this video like a little bit simple. I just don't have the energy to make a opening little scene or anything like I have been doing. Me and the wife came down with the flu, but still feel compelled to make a video tonight because of something that I heard in an AA meeting. Um, and yes, I again, not advocating for AA, but as you guys all know, I do go to AA meetings. I'm an active participant. Also, gotta say again, not a therapist or a doctor or any sort of medical professional. But one thing that you constantly hear in the halls of AA is something that's called into action, and I want to talk about a couple of different things, but this is the first one: into action. And as a recovering alcoholic, it, when they usually refer to it, or when it's referred to, a lot of people think that you're supposed, the whole going out and talking to another alcoholic or just going to meetings, stuff like that, is putting your sobriety into action. But it's really not, as far as I'm concerned, into action and putting your program into action and working the steps. It's an all-encompassing thing that should be basically how you live your life. Like I, again, have done a complete 180 on how I was 9 months ago and prior, and the 4.5 years prior to how I am today. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but just everything that I do revolves around staying sober or working my program or actively trying to help out another alcoholic or actively trying to keep myself sober. It's a participation sport. Sobriety is like you've got to totally be in it every day and so self-aware of different triggers and people, places, things that might get you even thinking about drinking again, sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. Like I said, I'm pretty sick. But you gotta, you know, do the things that you need to do to stay sober. Like, you can't just sit back and after you go to a meeting think, oh, that's it. I don't have to do anything more today. I went to an AA meeting and I'm good. I'm not going to drink. And some people do that, and some people make that work for them. But for this recovering alcoholic, that's not at all how it works for me. Like, I really feel like, if I even let up, even just a tiny bit. Now, I don't mean for the rest of my life that every single day I got to go to an AA meeting and whatever. I do take nights off here and there that to spend with my grandchildren, or to I have this poker game that I host that a lot of people they don't drink, and it's like they even say that it's a safe spot for them to come to. Because they know that not everybody is going to be falling all over themselves drunk. Now, that's not to say that some people don't come over and have a cocktail or two, but for the most part, it's not like going out to the bar where the drinking is in your face all the time, as it is usually down here. So yeah, like family dinners and stuff, or special occasions where go out with the wife or whatever. But at the same time, if I miss a couple of days of meetings, I start to get a little antsy, and eventually, if I miss more than a couple of days, my wife will even say, or people even say, like, have you been to a meeting lately? And I'd be like, oh crap, it must be must be acting a little funny. And it's just everything that you got to do, like that you do to stay sober, and keep an eye on yourself, keep yourself accountable. Um, that's a big thing. Like, I heard it before. Like, somebody would say, how many meetings should I go to? Well, the answer is, well, how often did you drink? And for me, it was pretty much every day, all night, whatever. And so the person says to me, well, there's your answer. I think a lot of it too is about just keeping yourself occupied, giving yourself something to do, give yourself the busy work as well, so that you're not sitting, especially early on, first month or two in sobriety. Like, they recommend 90 meetings in 90 days. It's just to keep you occupied, not just to keep you occupied, it's also to get you in the program, but it keeps you occupied. It gives you something other than to do than sit around with your thoughts, and all you're going to think about is just going out and grabbing a drink, and that you're bored, and go out and socialize with the people that you probably shouldn't be socializing with. So yeah, I mean, into action. That's what you got to do. You just got to take the bull by the horns, and do this thing. And that led me down another, train of thought of what actually motivates you, what actually motivates me to stay sober, what actually motivates other people to stay sober. And there's a lot of factors, and I tell you, there's not a whole lot that I'm afraid of in this world. Certainly no man, but one thing I am fucking terrified of is relapsing, and the thought of going back to being that monster that I was 9 short months ago. But there's all sorts of other motivating factors too. A lot of them are self have to do with myself and my who I am on the inside now. Like, I like that I can look at myself in the mirror in the morning. I like that I can, talk to somebody, and when I tell them I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Usually I won't tell people I'm going to do something because I'm kind of lazy and I'm not going to do it. So I just don't tell them I will, as opposed to just lying and saying, yeah, I'll do that, and then not show up or whatever. If I don't want to do it, I'll just look at you and say, I'm not going to do that. No, don't feel like it. And definitely don't ask me to look at your car on my off time. You want me to look at your car? I'm at work Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30. You want to talk to me about cars then? I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Anytime after that? Nope, it's my time. But other motivating factors, I just look at the pictures of my grandsons and just, I don't want to lose them. I have the love of my daughters, and I don't want to lose that. I don't ever want to see the look on any of my kids' faces ever again. Whenever I would pick up or quit drinking and then start drinking again, just that look of disappointment on their faces, like, they love me and everything, but they're just like, God damn it, Dad, like, again, like, why can't you just get it? I don't want to see that again. So that motivates me. My wife, I don't want to lose her. Like, I know. Like, I had a dream the other night where I drank a couple of beers, and I know that when you dream about drinking, like, it means that you're thinking of it's your brain telling you that you shouldn't drink. And I just remember seeing, even in the dream, it was just a dream, but even in the dream, the look on her face, the look of disgust and disappointment and sadness on her face in the dream was. I woke up, and that first few seconds of is this real or is this a dream? I was devastated. I was so beside myself, upset that I thought I had let her down. And ultimately, let myself down, you know. And I'm planning on moving back to the States. I start drinking again, man. I'm not going to be able to hold down a job. I'm not going to be able to hold down any of that, freaking end up, you know, broke, homeless, and alone. I don't want to do that either. That's a pretty big motivator right there. But yeah, and it's easy. It's easy to fall into like the comfortableness of it and the the routine, where, or even go so far as to say I've got this, and stop trying so hard, because that's when it gets you, when you least expect it. Like, you're sitting there and you're thinking like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Like, I haven't had a drink in a while, so I'll go to one meeting a week, or I'll stop, my counseling, or I'll just, let my guard down. You let your guard down. You think you're safe, and then whammo, you're not safe. Next thing you know, you're freaking balls deep in a 30-pack and freaking going out to the freaking liquor store to grab a bottle of vodka or whatever, and wondering the next day, like, how did I get here again? Like, how did this even happen? Like, I was doing so good. But yeah, all those factors are big motivating factors for me. And honestly, like, I just don't wanna. I just don't want to do it. Like, being an alcoholic is a fucking full-time job. It really is. Like, the lies that you have to cover up, or you can remember the lies that you told, or trying to remember what you did in a blackout, and then also just like going from, like I used to do back in the States, like going to one liquor store in the morning to grab, whatever I needed to grab, and then running out, and then so going to a different liquor store in the evening, and because you didn't want them to know that you were an alcoholic, and then trying to like work in the times where you can kind of sort of keep it together for like, important things, and then all you're doing while you're there is thinking about how you can finagle another drink sooner, or how you can get out of your commitment that you made. Yeah, I don't want to do that ever again. I really don't. And then another thing, and this is what I'll wrap it up with, speak a few minutes on this, is fucking people are so afraid that when they stop drinking that they'll be alone. Well, you already are alone. Like, like, and if you're not alone, if you still got people that love you and care about you in your life, just keep on fucking keeping on, and you'll lose all them and you'll end up alone. I mean, I was alone. Even my towards the end there, my drinking, but they didn't even really want to, like, people just didn't want to hang out with me. I was just too much, and I mean, they were my drinking buddies, and I was turning into being too much for them. You lose everything. You lose everybody. And then all of a sudden you're just sitting there, sometimes in your apartment all by yourself, just freaking getting drunk. Like, wondering where the party went. And yeah, like, loneliness is a bitch. Being alone is a bitch sometimes, but also sometimes when you quit drinking, though, at the same time, being alone for a little while is just what you need. And it's okay to be alone. Like, you don't constantly have to have people around you 24/7. That's not how real life works. Like, nowadays, like I said, like 9 months into it, like, my favorite times of the day when I come home and I just have like a few minutes of like peace and quiet and can have some like solitude. Um, and that's not to say that I don't enjoy like my wife's like company or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. But there's just some days like when like like let's just say like on a Sunday, like for the first couple of hours in the day when she's at work, it's just like I'm sitting there and I'm by myself and I'm alone, and it's kind of nice. Like I can get some shit done around the house, or I can sit there and I can sit there and think about the week and collect my thoughts and just have some breathing space. And then of course by like 1 o'clock I'm like texting her. I'm like, when are you gonna be home? When are you getting out of work? But that's just because she spoils me. She really does. Yeah. So don't be afraid of being alone. Like when me and her split up, I tell you, like we separated for 2 months, and I really feel like that was just what my sobriety needed, because I had 2 solid months of being alone and doing the meetings, doing the work without having to worry about like pleasing anybody. I didn't have to worry about like keeping to a schedule or anything like that. I worked on myself at my own pace, did my things that I needed to do with AA and my sponsor and everything for the 2 months. And it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. And I think mine and her relationship is so much better and so much stronger because we had that 2 months off of each other. And I really feel like I was a completely different person when we started talking again and finally decided to get back together. So yeah, don't be afraid of being alone. And if you are alone, put that time to good use. Really, really, really put that time to good use. Yeah, you'll be happy you did. I'm telling you. And then you also won't be so worried about not having somebody around all the time. Because it's really, when you break it down, like wanting somebody else around all the time is to distract you from you. You don't want to be around, you don't want to be alone with yourself. So make yourself somebody that you don't mind spending time with. But again, that's all I got. I do apologize about me being sick and being a little scattered right now, but I really did feel compelled to make this video, and I really appreciate everybody's support. If you could like and subscribe if you haven't already, appreciate it. Share out the video, I'd appreciate that too. Again, it's all just about getting the message out there. But yeah, that's all I got, and thank you for watching.